Hey, I'm Blair Best. It's Friday here on The Story, and tonight, President Trump warns that Portland could be the next place he sends the National Guard. It appears he's concerned over ongoing protests. Plus, we're going on a hike up Mount Adams in Washington. Photographer John Goodwin takes us along the overnight adventure. But first, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson is asking for community donations to help address homelessness. Now, it's an ask that's not sitting right with many of you, and has one city councilor calling it simply ridiculous. It's our big story tonight. Well, in his latest move to address homelessness in the Rose City this week, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson is asking for help from you. He sent out this 9-page document listing what he needs in donations to reach his shelter goals. The mayor is trying to open 1,500 new emergency overnight shelter beds by December 1st to end unsheltered homelessness, an ambitious and lofty goal. With about 3 months to go, he's at 630 beds opened. The latest beds opened this week in the Pearl District at this shelter on Northwest Northrop Street. It has been met with major pushback from the neighborhood. Over the weekend, someone even went as far to tag it with graffiti, spray painting messages targeted at the mayor. On the first night, 13 homeless people stayed there. It currently has room for 40. But let's get back to his ask of you. In an email to subscribers this week, he asked for help for everything from volunteering to work in shelters, furniture, food, vehicles, even money. Well, this isn't sitting right with Portland City Councilor Loretta Smith. We caught up with her today.
Well, I immediately thought that we just passed the $9.8 billion budget that has services for homeless folks, and now we're asking for additional money. I think it's great because it's a huge problem. But I think that we have already asked our residents and our neighbors for as much as they can probably bear right now.
Now, Councilor Smith represents District 1, which includes East Portland. She points to the fact that Portlanders are already facing raised utility rates and parking fees and high taxes.
We have to be sensitive to the everyday person. Just take an example of people in my district. They make a salary of $60,000 a year. They can't afford to give anymore.
Councilor Smith wants to see the mayor enforce the city's rules around homeless camping before asking the community to step in.
The mayor should be implementing the camping ban. Until he starts implementing the camping ban, he should not ask the community for additional money.
A spokesperson for the mayor's office tells us since his election, Portlanders from across the city have reached out to ask how they can get involved. This week, we provided the opportunity. We all have something to contribute, from a bag of snacks or an hour of our time to larger, more transformational gifts. Councilor Eric Zimmerman, who represents District 4, which is downtown Portland, chiming in tonight, saying, "I'm not so sure why or to what end the mayor is asking Portlanders for more. A snack pack or an hour of volunteer time is not what our city is lacking. We are an $8+ billion organization. Portlanders have already given enough through their taxes, including Metro's supportive homeless services tax. The mayor has the tools and authority to enforce camping laws and fill the vacant shelter beds. What's needed now is follow through. Create the additional shelter spaces the council has already funded, enforce camping and drug laws, and clean up the trash that surrounds street living." Now, this week, the mayor's ask also came with a warning that if Portlanders don't, quote, work together by volunteering and donating, then the Trump administration could step in by sending the National Guard.
The idea that Donald Trump will come and put the National Guard on the residents of Oregon if they don't donate to our homeless shelters, that's ridiculous. If Donald Trump comes here, he's going to come here and deal with the unsanctioned camping that's going outside because the mayor refuses to implement the camping ban. That's why Donald Trump will bring the troops, not because our residents will not give any additional money for homelessness and shelter. That's ridiculous.
Okay, we also caught up with the head of the Portland Metro Chamber, which advocates for businesses in the region, and he has a different take on all of this.
People have been asking, what can I do? And to have the leader of the city say, this is where we're headed, this is what needs to happen, we all need to be on board with it, we're grateful for his call to action. I think all of us are frustrated by the fact that we have poured resources, time, energy, community meetings into this issue, but right now we have a leader who is driving us towards a singular point in time with a very specific plan and who is aware of national concerns that we all share.
Now, this ask from the mayor comes the same week about 9 city employees are leaving for Europe on a taxpayer-funded work trip to study an affordable housing model called social housing.
But when you send Portland Housing Bureau staff on a trip like this, you have to be held accountable for it. Look, it's Section 8 as far as I'm concerned. It's subsidized housing that we do through HUD. I don't need to go to Vienna to find out how to do that. Even if they come back with all the great ideas that they think they're going to come back with, we have no money. The mayor is asking for money for homelessness after we're putting over $140 million extra of city resources into homelessness on top of the money that Multnomah County gets. Now, we have to make it make sense, and none of this stuff makes sense to me.
Okay, the mayor needed $28 million to fund his plan to open 1,500 beds in 4 day centers by December 1st. He asked the state legislature to chip in $11 million. We learned today the legislature did not give him that money. Councilor Smith believes that was driving this ask for donations. The mayor was unable to talk with us on camera today, but his office tells us he is grateful for the support of the state legislature and that this request is in no way related to state-level funding. The response we received from the mayor's office did not mention his warning about the National Guard. But as of yesterday afternoon, about 50 people have reached out wanting to donate. Among the donations so far, phone chargers, picnic tables, and pet supplies. Portland City Councilor Olivia Clark, who represents District 4, said in a statement, the mayor's request is for help with the nonprofits serving our unhoused community, not donations to the city, so his office can help direct willing donors to the right place. It's also a call for everyone to play a part in helping with this humanitarian crisis.
He is trying to do everything possible. We need leaders to act like him. Okay, so this may rub you the wrong way. Who cares? He's working on the issue we want, and he's doing it every single day.
Among the items the mayor is asking for are chairs to replace church pews. That's to make it easier to convert churches into shelters, something the mayor has been wanting to do since he ran for office. A viewer named Catherine wrote into us about that idea, saying in part, why is Mayor Keith Wilson asking for worship chairs? Does he understand that churches don't want homeless people wandering inside their buildings looking for something to steal? This is the strangest request I've seen from a civil government official.
That's not the public's issue. He asked for $28 million to do this whole thing around shelters, and that including the pews. The idea that we now have to give more to implement his plan is just simply ridiculous.
It's the top issue. It's been the top issue for over a decade, and there's a lot of things that happen as a result of the fact we haven't fixed it yet. So let's get behind this guy, give him a shot. He said December 1st. Here's one more tool in the toolkit. Let's get on board, or if you don't like it, guess what? Don't volunteer. There's a shocking message.
Okay, talk to us. What do you think about the mayor's ask for help? Do you agree with Councilors Smith and Zimmerman that he's asking too much of the community? Or do you think Andrew Hone is onto something, with the mayor having set goals and that it's on to us to support them? Email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. Now, President Trump did mention Portland today during a news conference. Someone asked him if he's decided where he's going to send the National Guard next, and here's what he said.
I have. I have. I'm not going to say it now, but yeah, I have. We're going to go into another place and straighten it out. And I will say this: I watched today. I didn't know that was continuing to go on, but Portland is unbelievable. What's going on in Portland? The destruction of the city. Well, I'm going to look at it now because I didn't know that was still going on. This has been going on for years. So we'll be able to stop that very easily. We'll be able to stop it. But, you know, that was not on my list Portland, but when I watched television last night, this has been going on. You wouldn't be standing if you were the mayor. You would be. Can you imagine what they're doing?
Trump didn't say exactly what he was watching on TV about Portland last night, but Fox News did air this 5-minute segment yesterday all about the protests outside the ICE facility downtown, calling it a sanctuary city run amok.
And what makes this even more frustrating for residents is that Portland police won't respond to noise complaints or even when assaults are witnessed.
Today, Trump says he thinks the protesters are being paid.
These are paid agitators, and they're very dangerous for our country. And when we go there, if we go to Portland, we're going to wipe them out. They're going to be gone, and they're going to be gone fast. They won't even stand the fight. They will not stay there. They've ruined that city. I have people that used to live in Portland. They've left. Most of them have left. But what they've done to that place is it's like living in hell.
Mayor Wilson sent a statement just about an hour ago saying in part, like other mayors across the country, I have not asked for and do not need federal intervention. We are proud that Portland police have successfully protected freedom of expression while addressing occasional violence and property destruction that takes place during protests at the ICE facility in Portland. Well, earlier this week, you had a lot to say about a homeless camp in the Sandy River Delta near Troutdale. This video from the Corbett Fire District last week shows what officials believe to be a stolen car engulfed in flames, not far from the camps at Thousand Acres Park. A week before, crews responded to another fire that broke out at one of the camps. The Corbett Fire Marshal says there has been violence and vandalism out there, but the governor paused cleanup efforts after protests. Now, we heard from a lot of you who live nearby or go to the Sandy River Delta for recreation and have seen some of the problems firsthand. Liz said the homeless camps at SRD have been a hazard for years. Trash, vehicles, arson, violence, all in a public access area that is utilized by many people. Needless to say, there is also a wildfire risk due to the recent and frequent incidents of arson and the proximity of SRD to suburban areas. Department of State Lands, the governor's office, and law enforcement need to do a better job. But we got this voicemail from Laura, who thinks everyone's focus is in the wrong place.
I was just calling to advocate for the homeless people at the Sandy River Delta camps. Although we do care about the forests and the land there, I think the people are more important. I know there's a lot of societal issues right now, with rising inflation and rents. So there needs to be more done for the homeless. Okay, and I think they should help protect the Sandy River Delta camps.
Well, still ahead on the story, the small town hardware store that stood for more than a century. It was even the site of a love story, but now the doors are closing, so that love story can continue.
I need to spend time with her.
We'll take you to Ridgefield Hardware when we come back. The city of Ridgefield's only hardware store is set to close its doors after 111 years in business. Devin Haskins has a look at how they got there and what's next.
At the corner of Pioneer Street and Main Avenue, this building has stood here since 1914. Inside, it's what a small-town hardware store should be.
This is totally a throwback you get from the old days of hardware stores.
Scott Hughes and his wife bought the place in 1999.
You don't have to go into Home Depot and buy 25 screws when you need 3 or 4.
Some things have remained the same, like this original countertop and the scale that once weighed nails and screws.
It was made in 1914. I know it was purchased new for the store at that time.
It has been the only hardware store in town.
Makes it convenient because Home Depot is so far away, so it's easier to come here.
But after 111 years, Scott says it's time to say goodbye.
It's very heartbreaking that they're closing.
It's a business he has loved since he bought it.
You love your job, you never work a day in your life. That's the way this was. You never regretted a Monday having to come into work.
For Scott, this decision to close has been something he's been thinking about for the last 2 years. He says it is time to spend more time with his wife, Kathy.
Oh, she is my dream girl. Excuse me.
For more than 50 years, Scott and Kathy have always been side by side. She started working here when her dad owned the store from 1982 till 1999 when she and Scott took over.
She just loves this community. Born, raised here. She knows everybody.
Over the last decade, Kathy has been battling a disease that over time has required more attention. Now Scott says his place is by her side.
The last 2 years it's been progressing, and this year it's been progressing a little bit more, so that's why I need to spend time with her.
Ridgefield Hardware will close on September 30th.
Yeah.
But for Scott,
Yep, and it'll be hard.
the memories inside these walls will never fade.
You always look back at your life and you see, do you have any regrets or anything? The last regret I would ever have is buying this store and marrying that woman.
In Ridgefield, Devin Haskins, KGW News.
What a sweet story. Well, after the break, we're heading up to the top of Washington's second highest mountain. We'll show you what it takes to make the climb. Well, it's Friday, and hey, you might be thinking about your weekend plans. We sure are. Maybe getting outdoors before it starts to get cold. Photographer John Goodwin and some friends took on a big adventure, a trip to Mount Adams, and they brought us along for the ride.
Hey guys, here we are at the Cold Springs Campground, attempting a Mount Adams summit. I think the elevation here is about 5,500 feet, and we're gonna overnight tonight with a summit push tomorrow, and we wanted to bring you along. So let's go. At 12,276 feet, Mount Adams is the second tallest mountain in Washington. With my friends Peyton, Ray, Mark, and Eric, who's also a KGW engineer, we found a perfect August weekend for some self-punishment.
Well, it's kind of a Pacific Northwest bucket list thing for me. We did St. Helens 2 years ago, and it's kind of the logical next step in challenging myself, and it's a good group of people and a beautiful day, so what else are you gonna do?
Eric saw the camera and picked up the pace.
2 miles in, I believe, we stopped at a spot. I think this is called Morrison Creek. Taking a proper snack break, taking the packs off. What a relief, but staying focused. We're heading up to Lunch Counter, which is where we're gonna camp tonight, which is what I like to call a 1 billion star hotel.
Yeah, and there's always a sense of like everybody's in it together, and you know, great sense of camaraderie and teamwork.
We've arrived at the snow, the base of the Crescent Glacier. Everything's getting closer, but also farther away at the same time. So we've made it up to Lunch Counter. Everyone's kind of selected their camping spots for the evening, and allow me to show you mine. A hearty thank you to those who have come here before me and stacked the rocks. It blocks some of the wind. At night, I'm sure the wind will really pick up. We got situated by mid-afternoon in the shadow of Piker's Peak, the fall summit, and get prepped for day 2.
We are at lunch something.
The lunch counter.
Counter. There it is, lunch counter.
I sure counted a lot of steps getting here.
It's just so beautiful. And being, I don't know, I feel like we're a pretty good team. Like we were all walking together and hanging out and chit-chatting. It was pretty cool to bond in that way. I feel like I kept looking up and it was just like, gotta keep going.
I think Jod said almost there at least 14 times.
So we had some dinner and refilled our water packs. So we're all set for tomorrow. Getting some sleep tonight. Probably gonna get up around 4:30 to push for the summit. It's 4:30 and the conga line of climbers has already begun. And I gotta say, there's nothing quite like watching a trail of headlamps head up a mountain. It's really cool. All right, we're doing it. High adrenaline was enough to make up for how everyone slept the night before.
Not great. 0 out of 100. The wind was blowing, so that was loud. It was pretty cold, and general excitement was in the air. So it was you know, it was not great.
It's awfully windy up here, but we're just shy of 12,000 feet. This final push up to the summit, you gotta earn it. But check out the beautiful scenery up here. 5 hours after leaving camp, we stand at the top.
Oh my gosh, look at it!
Yeah, look at it.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, we did it. Oh, praise God.
An old Forest Service fire lookout still sits up here. Until late summer, it's completely buried by snow. The views take your breath away in the already thin air.
It's hard to explain how I'm feeling right now, but very, very much satisfied.
A few moments of self-doubt there. but you know, that's the beauty of doing it with a team. You know, everybody motivates each other, and you know, we all made it to the top.
I've never been this high, except for in a plane, but my wife always has the window seat, so I never get to look outside. Wait, we got a noggin, Ray.
Probably the most important question of all, what's for dinner tonight?
It's gonna be a cheeseburger wrapped in a large pizza.
Well, I hope you enjoyed coming along on this Mount Adams climb with us. There's beautiful Mount Rainier in the distance. I really hope you enjoyed seeing the mountain up close. We sure did. Now, we just gotta get back down. I really wish that I could just snap my fingers and be back at the car. Let's get out there, my friends.
So cool. I love that. Well, that's the end of our show, folks. Thanks for watching. Timbers 360 is coming your way next. And don't forget, everyone has a story to tell. If you ever miss an episode of The Story at 6:30, we re-air it at 8:30 and 10:30 on our TV app, KGW+. It'll also be there the next day at 11:30 a.m. And you can download that free KGW+ app right now on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. In the meantime, have a great weekend. We made it. I'll see you right back here Monday night at 6:30.